Welcome back to Welsh Miniature Board Gamer, and today we're going to have a go at playing Last Day's Zombie Apocalypse. Now I'm going to play the solo rules, which were in the Seasons expansion, and I think you can also get these rules online through the Osprey website. So this is a single player, so some of the rules are slightly different to if you're playing normally or with two players, but I'll go through those as we go through it. So this is kind of a tutorial game just to explain how to play the game, and we're going to be following the Saint Judes Congregation led by the Preacher Jones. So this is our group down here, and we are playing in first of the seasons. So we're playing in spring, and this is the first mission in spring, and we're going to go for scavenge, which is always a good one to start with because it's the most sort of basic rules for the game. So for setup, we have 5 supply tokens. So we got one at the very top of the screen by here, one by here. This is number 3, 4, and 5. Now there is a bit more of the table up here. It's cutting off, say, about a foot and a bit. But I'll move the camera up as my crew moves up. I think at the moment it's more important that you see my crew. So we place 3 zombies on the central line, within 6 inches of the central line of the board. And also, in solo play, we place some zombies to represent like the other player, or to take the place of the other player. So we got the number of levels of our group in zombies up this top end. So in our case, 0 counts as 1. So we've got 8 zombies because we've got 8 people in our group. So with that said, we're going to start. So it's in spring, so we have to shake for weather. So we shake 2 dice for weather. And it is spring, so we check the spring table, and I shook a 9. Extremely windy. Bows and crossbows and improvised explosions incur an additional -1 to hit, as the wind affects them more freely than firearms. So that is going to make a difference to us, because our only ranged weapon is a bow. So he's going to have -1 to his shooting with the bow. So turn 1. Now, as for every game of the Last Days, we start with the Menace Phase. So the Menace Phase, we check for any noise to bring on zombies. Obviously, this being the first turn, we're not going to have any ammo. Again, we're not going to have any used ammo, so no one's going to run out of any ammo. But like in next phases, or next turns, obviously, we will. So next we go on to zombie activation. So zombies can move 5 inches. So they're going to go towards the nearest thing they can see. So these ones can see us, so they're going to move 5 inches towards us. Like so. So the horde up the top, they're also going to move 5 inches towards us. They can all see over, well, in between the cars, so they're going to move like so. So you can actually see the zombie horde now that is making our way towards our group. Like so. So action phase. Well, obviously we don't have to shake for initiative in the single player version of this game. So we're going to activate our Preacher Jones. Now he's got a movement of 6. So AP of 6, sorry, to use the correct terms. So he can move 6 inches up the board. Or he could run as long as he's going in a straight line. So I'm going to have Preacher Jones run. So when he runs, he can use however many APs and double them. But there are some downsides to running. So this zombie is 8 inches away from me. So I can use 4 AP to run at him, and I'd get in contact. Because that's a straight line. As you can see, the tape measure is in a straight line. So he can do that, because you can only run in straight lines. Now, as soon as he comes into contact with this zombie, he's going to stop his movement because there's nothing else to do. You don't spend AP to attack in this game. It has its own phase. Now, I'm going to show that he has ran with these black poker tokens. When you run, you make a noise. And I'm going to show that he is activated so that I remember he is gone. So after Preacher Jones, That's his turn done. Now, we're going to go over to Brannick. Now, Brannick the farmer, now he has got an AP of 6, so he could walk 6 inches, or he could run, because it's a straight line. He would be able to make it to this zombie. That's 9 inches, so he would have to use like 4.5 AP, which you can't use halves, but if you use 5 AP, he could easily do it. So, using 5 AP, which makes him move 10 inches if he's running. We put a run token on him, a sound token on him, and we're going to mark that he is moved, that he's activated. Now, why do we put a run token on him? Now, run tokens show, one, that they can't shoot, because if you run, you can't shoot in the same turn, because you're running, so you haven't had time to like aim and take fire. It also gives people shooting at you a minus to them hitting you. So it's a good idea to show that you have ran. Now, sound tokens can bring on zombies in the Menace Phase. So you need to show that also. Running makes noise. So that's the reason why some people might not want to run. So next we got Trent the Firefighter. Now he has an AP of 8. So he could run 16 in a straight line. So what he's going to do is he's going to run 6 AP, so that's 12 inches because he's running. And he's got 2 AP left. So he's going to move and come in contact with that. He can't pick it up because that's an action, but he can move into contact with it. Now, as you can see, you can run and mix other actions. So just because you run doesn't mean that you can't walk or you can't pick up or whatever. As long as you've got enough AP, you can do that thing with the running as well. Tracy is going to walk her 6 AP, which will bring her here. Now, she doesn't have to place any tokens to show she's run or made any noise. All we have to do is show that she has been activated. Next, we've got Travis, the only person in our group that has actually got a ranged weapon, but it is a bow, so he's going to be minus because of the wind. So he doesn't want to run, because if he runs, he won't be able to shoot. He's got 6 AP, so he is going to move here, and that's him activated. Next, we've got Cqc Kramer. Cqc Kramer may as well run. He's got 6 AP, so that's well within 12. So he's going to run up here and help Farmer Brannick. So next we've got Romy. Now Romy is here, and she is going to... she's going to run for 4 to get her here. Romy is a tough guy, so she's got 6 AP, and she's going to walk 2, which will get her here, and that's her done. Now she's run, made a noise, and activated. So next we got Kathy. Kathy is going to walk 2 inches to the barrier, like so. She's going to spend an inch to climb up onto the barrier, because it's a short barrier, so that's 3. Now she's got 3 inches left, so she's going to walk the last 3 to get here. Now she didn't run, so all I have to show is that she is activated. After action phase comes shooting phase. Now the only person I've got here who can shoot is Travis with his bow. So he's going to shoot at this zombie. So first of all, has he got line of sight? Yes, he does. Is he within range? Yes, short range from my bow is 9 inches. So he's within 9 inches. So the zombies are always +1 to hit because they don't try and move out the way and they're not particularly skilled in any way. So I add 1 to his skill, but -1 because of the wind and -1 because he's shooting over an intervening terrain. So I'm all together -1 to Travis's shot. So Travis has got a firearms of 3, so it's knocked down to 2. So I need to finally get 7 or more to hit. So I need to shake a 5 in order to hit this zombie. I shook a 4, so he misses. I place a token to show that he is fired. So you need to place a token each time you fire to know how many bullets you've used. Now obviously with a bow, you can only shoot one arrow at a time. So this is going to count as he's going to have to reload in the Menace Phase. But for now, we just keep track of the ammo. And the more ammo you have, obviously if you have a machine gun or a pistol, the more ammo they can fire before having to reload. But we'll come to that maybe in a later game when I get a firearm. So that's the shooting phase done. And we go over to Cqc. So in Cqc we got, first of all, Preacher Jones. Preacher Jones is going to attack the zombie. Now he has a 4 Cqc skill, but he's using a knife, so it knocks it up to 5 Cqc. Plus he's fighting a zombie, so it knocks it up to a 6 Cqc. So my Cqc is 6, zombies is 2. I am the yellow dice. We shake an opposing test. So with my Cqc of 6, plus 3, that's 9. So zombies is 5, so obviously I've beaten it here. So now that I've beaten it, I can shake to see whether I've lobotomized it. Now I'm using a knife, so that's a +1 to my lobotomy shake. So when you attack a zombie, obviously hurting them doesn't really count. You need to go for the brain. So on a 5 or a 6, you manage to hit it in the head and destroy the brain and kill the zombie. Now because I got a Lobo 1, because it's using a knife, that adds 1 to my score. It takes 1 away if you like. So I need a 4, 5 or a 6 in order to lobotomize this zombie. I shook a 2, so I failed to cause any lobotomy. But because I won the combat, I can push him back. Now, because this is spring, and this is seasons game, I have to shake to see whether I got infected while fighting. So on a 1, the preacher has become infected. I shook a 4, so I'm okay. We'll activate Cqc Kramer to attack this zombie. So he gets +1 to his skill, which is usually 3. He's not using any weapons which add to his skill, so it's still a 3. But it's +1 because he's attacking a zombie, so that's 4. And he's got a friend, so that's 5. So I'm adding 5 to Cqc Kramer's rolls. So 5 + 2, that's 7. 4 + 2, that's 6. So I still managed to beat the zombie. So do I lobotomize him? Now the club has no extra, so it's a 5 or a 6. I managed to lobotomize him. No, I don't. Do I get infected? No, I don't. Now I could decide to push him back, but I want Brannick to have a go because he might manage to kill this zombie where Cqc Kramer failed. So Brannick is going to activate and attack him. Now Brannick has got a Cqc of 3. He's using a club, so that's no special bonus here. So 3 plus a friend, 4, and it's a zombie, 5. Oops, that rolled off. There you go, 5. So 5 + 2 is 7. 3 + 2 is 5. So I've beaten him again. Now a 5 or a 6, I managed to lobotomize him. No, I don't. Do I get sick? I shook a 5, so no, I don't get sick. And he will push him back so he doesn't get attacked in the follow-up phase. So if a defender wins a combat, they do not get to damage the attacker. The defender is just fending off the blows. So in this case, I have no zombies attacking, but now it will be the chance for the zombies to attack back in Cqc. But seeing that these have been pushed back, they can't attack this turn. They've all been pushed away from me. Now, it is end phase, so if you've lost any people, you'll have to see if you've got any breakage tests, because they might get scared and run away. Now, obviously, I didn't lose anyone, so I don't have to do any breakage tests. But, we do have to shake to see end of phase events, because in solo play, something strange might happen. So you take what turn it is, this is turn 1, and you shake a dice. I shook a 1, so 1 and turn 1, that's 2, nothing happens, all quiet. So that's brilliant for us. So we're over to turn 2, Menace Phase. So first of all, noise. So first of all, we have to check to see what noise has brought anything on. So we'll start with Cqc Kramer because he ran. So if we get a 7, we brought something on. So obviously on a 6-sided dice you can't get a 7, but he ran. So if I shake a 6, add the noise, he would bring on a zombie. So I shook a 5, add 1, 6, so he didn't bring any zombies on. Now Brannick, did Brannick bring any zombies on? Nope. Did Romy? I shook a 4, so no. Did Trent? I shook a 1, so no. How about the Preacher? 6! The Preacher has brought something on because 6 plus his 1 noise equals 7. So he has brought a zombie on. So where does a zombie come on? It's the nearest board edge to the person who made a noise, or the miniature that made a noise. So in this case, a zombie has come up where we started from, behind us. We place a zombie on the back of the board. So after this, we can check for ammo. Well, ammo, you'd usually shake and add the number of ammo you shoot. And if it gets equal to or over your reload, you have to reload. Obviously, this is a bow, so you automatically has to reload because there is no clip on a bow. So at this point, you can remove the tokens to show that this is a new turn. But if you were using a firearm with a clip, you would keep however many ammo you've used on you until you fail your ammo roll, because that's going to carry on building on you until you actually fail the test. So now it's zombie activation. So all zombies get to move, including the one that just came on because of the noise. So this one here moves 5 and comes into contact with Travis, which is a bit unfortunate because Travis really is our guy for shooting and we didn't really want him coming into contact. This one comes here and hits into them too. This one moves back into the Preacher. Now this one is going to move and come into contact with Kathy. And then we've got all of these, and they're all moving towards the nearest thing they can see. So they can see Trent over the barrier there. They all shamble this way. Okay, this zombie cannot see anyone behind you. There's a zombie right here. Now, because he can't see it, it would go towards the nearest noise it can hear. So the nearest noise, I think, was Trent, because Trent ran. So it will move the same way. Now this one can see Kathy, so it's going to head for Kathy. Like so. And that's the end of the Menace Phase. So we're over to Action Phase. Tracy. Now Tracy is going to go back and help Travis fight this zombie. So she's going to walk and she comes in contact. So we mark that she has come in contact. Like so. Now Travis here could try and break away, but he's not going to want to. But if he did, he'd have to do an opposed test. His courage versus the enemy's horror. So he's not going to want to try and break off. So he can't actually spend any actions this turn because he's in combat. Same goes for Kathy here. The Preacher. PC Kramer and Brannick. They're all staying where they are. They're all fighting the zombies. They're not trying to break away. Now Romy is 7 inches away from this supply token. So she is going to run. She's going to use 4 AP, because you can't use half APs, to get in contact. She has run. So we need to put noise and activation. She got 2 AP left. Now she can't pick up the counter because it costs 3 AP. So she has 2 AP left, but she doesn't really want to use it because she can't do much here. So that leaves us with Trent. Now Trent is going to pick up the supply crate. So that's going to cost him 3 AP. As we know, Trent has got 8 AP. So he's got 5 AP left. But carrying loot weighs you down. And loot has got an AP modifier of -2. So he's picked it up, that's knocked it down to 5. Now he's carrying it, he's down to 3 AP left. So you can run while carrying them. So he could move 6 if he wants to run while carrying the loot. And he's going to do that. He's going to run back here, carrying the loot, trying to get off the board. So he is activated. He's made noise. And he is run. Shooting phase. Well, obviously we don't have any shoot in this phase because the only person we've got who can shoot is stuck in combat. Plus, he hasn't reloaded, so he hasn't got any ammo left. So CQC, we're going to start again. We'll start with Kathy over here in the corner. And Kathy is going to attack that zombie. So Kathy's skill is 4, +1 because she's using a heavy blade. So her skill goes up to 5. Now she's attacking a zombie, so her skill goes up to 6. So I shook 6 for us and a 5 for them. So we've obviously beaten the zombie. Now she's got a heavy blade, so that is a Lobo 1. So we add 1 to this. So what we do is 4, 5 or a 6, it will lobotomize the zombie. No, it doesn't. Does she get sick on a 1? She does get sick. Okay, so this doesn't really matter for now, but it will matter for the post-game rolls, etc. So she becomes sick, so I'm going to have to mark it on her character, and she will push the zombie back to stop it from hitting her. Preacher Jones. Now Preacher Jones has got a 5 skill, +1 because he's fighting a zombie, so he's got 6. I shook a 2, so that's 6 + 2 is 8. 5 + 2 is 7, so I've still managed to beat the zombie. It's pretty hard for the Preacher to lose because his skill is pretty high. So on a 5 or a 6, a 4, 5 or a 6, he manages to lobotomize this zombie. I shook a 3, he doesn't. Does he get sick? I shook a 2, so he doesn't, but he will push it back. So if I failed to beat the zombie in my attack, that means I wouldn't be able to put them back. I can only push him back because I won the attack. Even though I didn't cause any damage, I did win the combat. So that's why I can push him back and really negate his attack next turn. Tracy. Tracy's got a skill of 4. Knocked up to 5 because she's fighting a zombie. Knocked up to 6 because she's fighting with Travis. So we both shook 6s. But my skill is higher, so I win. Alright, she has a knife, so I need a 4, 5 or a 6 to lobotomize. She failed. Will she push it back? No, she won't. Does she get a 1? No, so she doesn't get infected. So we are having to rely on Travis to try and take out this zombie. Now he's got a skill of 3. Knocked up to 4, knocked up to 5 because he's a zombie. So 5 versus 2. So we both shook 5, so therefore I am the winner. And then 5 or a 6 because he is not actually using any weapons, he's just using his hands. And he shook a 6, so Travis with his hands snaps the zombie's neck and kills it. So we place a note on his character that he has killed the zombie because that's going to give him experience in the post game. Did he get ill? No, he didn't get ill killing the zombie. Next, we're going to have PC Kramer. PC Kramer is going to try and attack the zombie. Now, he's got a skill of 3. He's got a friend, 4. And he's attacking a zombie for 5. So I shook a 2. The zombie shook a 2. So I've beaten it. Now, he's using a club, which doesn't give any Lobo rules. So I need a 5 or a 6. I shook a 1, so he doesn't. Does he get ill? No, he doesn't. He won't push it back because he's hoping that Brannick will be able to finish the job that he didn't. So Brannick has got a +5 with his modifiers. I shook 3, so that's 8 to his 6. I've beaten it. I got no modifiers to Lobo either. And I shook a 6, so Brannick manages to behead the zombie with his spade. And on a 1, does he get ill? No, he doesn't. So yet again, we mark on Brannick that he killed a zombie. So now it's a chance for the zombies to strike back. There are no zombies that are still in combat because I won all our combats, even if I didn't kill the zombies. So there's no CQC there. Now breaking point at the end of phase. I haven't lost anyone, so I don't have to check for that. But I do have to check for end of phase events. So it's turn 2. Shake a dice. 4 plus 2, that's 6. Changing weather. So we have to shake to see how the weather has changed. So the strong winds that have been knocking my bow accuracy have blown away and have been replaced by something else. Shook 7. Moderate conditions. No in-game effect. So we're over to turn 3. So Menace Phase on turn 3. So noise tokens. So on a 6, Trent will bring someone on. 2 plus his 1 noise is 3, so that's not over 7, so I'm fine. And it's the same for Romy. No, 1 plus 1 is 2, that's not over 7, so she doesn't bring on a zombie either. So next we check for ammo. Well, we know Travis is out of ammo, so we don't have to worry about him having to reload. So then it's a zombie activation. This zombie will move towards the cafe. This one towards the preacher. And then we got these cluster here of zombies who are all going to move. So they can move 5 inches. So these cannot see Romy, but they did hear her. But they can see this guy. So they can see him, so they're going to head for this guy. These can see Kathy, so they're going to head for Kathy. Now as you can see with these ones here, next turn they can see Romy, so they're going to be heading for Romy next turn. And it's action phase. So we are going to have Romy. She's going to pick up that for free. So she's got 3 AP left. Now it's a heavy 2, so she can only move 1 inch. But she can run, so she can move actually 2 inches if she runs. Now she's hoping that'll keep her away from the zombie threat. So she's going to run 2 inches and get to here carrying her supply. She ran, made a noise, and is activated. Next we're going to have Trent go. So Trent has got his AP of 8, but he's carrying a heavy 2 item, so it's knocked down to 6. Now if he runs, he can get off the board, because that would knock it up to, he's got 6 left, he can run 12 and it's only 10 inches away. So what he's going to do, he's going to run off the board with our first treasure token. But this does show that he did run, so I still have to place a token to show that he has made a noise. So for our next action, I'm going to have Travis, and Travis is going to reload his bow, which costs 2 to reload. So he's got 4 AP left. So he's going to move up here 4 inches to stand here. So then he'd be hopefully able to fire this turn. So I'm going to show he's activated. Then we got Tracy. Now Tracy is going to, she's got 6 AP. So she's going to move to the barrier, which costs her 5. And climb up onto the barrier. It'll cost her last AP. So that's 6 AP, because she's not running. So Brannick is going to walk, and he's going to walk up to here. And PC Kramer is going to do the same. Just to protect Romy as she flees with the supply token. So that's action phase done. So we're over to shooting phase. So we know Travis is the only person we have who has got a ranged weapon. Now there is no wind this turn because the wind has blown away, so it's a nice calm day now. So he's going to shoot. Now his hunting bow has got a range of 918. Now it doesn't really matter when you're fighting zombies the differences. If you're fighting a person, if he hit, it would be extra strong at closer ranges. But with this, as long as it's within 18, that's all we really worried about. And he's 10 inches away, so he does manage to get his shot. So, his firearm skill is 3, but he gets +1 because he's shooting at a zombie, and no other minuses because the weather is fine now. So his skill is up to 4, and he needs 7. So 4 plus 1 is 5. So he failed to hit the zombie. So we have to show that he has used an ammo. Obviously we know that that is going to be turned into a unloaded token next turn. But just to get into a good habit, we'll just place it as an ammo shot for now. So after shooting phase, we come to CQC. So first of all, we're going to have the preacher attacking his zombie. Now the preacher has got his skill of 5, knocked up to 6 because he's fighting a zombie. So we both shook 5, so my skill is way higher than his. So I've beaten it. Do I manage to lobotomize him on a 4+? No, I don't. Do I get sick on a 1? No, I don't. But I will push him back because I won the combat. Kathy attacking her zombie. Now Kathy's skill is 5, knocked up to 6 because she's got a knife. Sorry, she's got a heavy blade, Kathy has. So her skill is 6. So 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 plus 2 is 5. So I've beaten it on a 4, 5 or a 6 because it's a Lobo 1. I chopped its head off. And I've chopped off the zombie's head. So I show that Kathy has killed a zombie. And I have to see if she got ill. On a 2, she's fine. So that's all of our CQC. So over to zombie CQC. And as usual, there is no zombie actually in contact with us this turn. So they don't get to fight back. So we're over to end phase. So in end phase, we'd have to do a breaking point if we took a casualty. Now, just because Trent left the board doesn't make him a casualty. So we don't have to do a casualty test. But we do have to shake for an end phase event. So we shake a dice and add the turn. So we're on turn 3. So I shook a 1 and 3. That's 4. All quiet. So we're over to turn 4. And the Menace Phase. So for the Menace Phase, we're going to have to shake for sounds. So there's a run token here. I shook a 4 plus the 1. That's 5. Nothing happened. The one where Trent made as he ran off, I shook a 6. So as he ran off, he brought a zombie on. Thank you, Trent. Now it goes to the nearest board edge, so it's going to be coming on where Trent rushed off. Next, we check for ammo. So we know that Travis has to run out of ammo because he's got a bow and he has no clip for his bow. So next we have the zombie phase. Now the zombies are going to move. So obviously this one's going to move back into contact with the preacher because the preacher can never get rid of that zombie. And then we have the rest of the zombies moving towards the nearest people they can see. If failing that, it's the nearest people they can hear. So this zombie, you can't quite see off the board, he's going to make his way towards Kathy because Kathy is the closest person it can see. And it just comes on the camera there. Next, we're going to have these zombies move. Now the first one reaches Cqc Kramer. All the rest are falling just short behind. Then these ones get to here. Action phase, Romy. So she's carrying a heavy 2 items, so she's down to 4 APs. So she can run for 8. So that's what she's going to do. She's going to run here, carrying her supply token with her. And she's ran, making noise and activated. So we got Brannick. Brannick is going to, he's going to move back. He's going to move back 5 inches. He's just going to get back to here. So that's him activated. Now we're going to actually try and break away with Cqc Kramer. So we have to look at Cqc Kramer's courage and then against the zombies' courage. So they both got 3 effectively. So whoever rolls higher is successful. So if I roll higher with my yellow dice, it means I can break away. If I fail, it means he's stuck in combat. So I shook a yellow of 1. They shook a green of 3. So I'm stuck in combat. So he fails to break away. And that's all his action's going to be. Kathy, we're going to have Kathy move up. Now, Kathy is going to use her 6 AP, and she's going to run. So she's going to run in a straight line. Right, so she can't run in a straight line because that barrel is in the way. So she's going to run for 2 AP. She can move 4 because she ran. Another 2 AP. That's 4 APs. So she gets to here, actually, because she's not allowed to run twice. Tracy. Now, Tracy's going to have to go back, really, and fight this zombie so that we don't get too teamed up here. So she moves back into contact with that zombie, showing she's activated. He is going to stay there and not do anything. Travis is going to reload for 2. And he is going to just shimmy up a little bit by here to get a nicer shot on that zombie. So then we're over to shooting phase. So on shooting phase, we're going to have Travis. Obviously, he's our only person who can shoot. Going to shoot at this zombie. So he has a bow skill of 3 plus 1 because he's shooting at a zombie, so 4. So he needs a 3 to hit the zombie. He does. Now, hunting bows have got a really good lobotomizing rule. So they're a 3, 4, 5 or a 6 to lobotomize that zombie. And I shook a 5, so he does. He kills another zombie. He doesn't make any noise because he is using a bow, but he does get an ammo token to show that he has shot. So next it's over to Cqc phase. So we're going to start with the Preacher. Preacher Jones has got his skill of 5 plus 1 because he's fighting a zombie. So we shook 4 and 4, so it means I've beaten him. On a 4, 5 or a 6 because he's using a knife. No, he doesn't lobotomize. On a 1, does he get ill? No, but he did win, so he pushes it back. Next we have got Tracy. Now Tracy is going to have a go, and she's going to attack that zombie. So her skill is 4 plus 1 because it's a zombie. So I shook a 6, they shook a 3, so I've beaten it. She's got a knife, so it's a 4, 5 or a 6. She does lobotomize it, so Tracy kills a zombie and gets that marked on her character. Does she get ill? On a 1, she gets sick. I shook a 4, she's fine. Then we've got PC Kramer here. Now PC Kramer has got a skill of 3, but it's fighting a zombie, so it's up to 4. I shook a 5, and they shook a 5, so I've beaten it. Now PC Kramer has a club, and that has no lobotomizer rules, so he needs a 5 or a 6 to lobotomize. He shook a 4, so he failed. If he had a knife, he would have done it. But because he won the combat, he can push the zombie back, so it can't attack him this turn. Did he get ill? 1, he did get sick at this turn as well. So the zombies get to attack back during the Cqc phase. Then there's none in contact again, so I'm really managing them at the moment really well. And I think this might be the turn right here. So end of phase. Do I have to do any break tests? No, because I haven't lost anyone to any injuries. But I do have to shake on the end of phase table. So we're on turn 4, and I shake a 1, 5, all clear.